Still happy with it. Not the best Super Sentai combiner I've ever had, but whatever, I can live with it. So after bashing this fairly heavily in my previous video, where I unboxed those two things, I said, I was debating whether or not to get it or not. I'm still kind of debating whether I want to get it or not. But I kind of fell for a marketing gimmick. You see, Hobby Link Japan did this thing where, starting July 3rd, not July 4th, if you order something from Q Ranger, which they specified, and this was one of them, you get a free bonus Q-Tama, which I don't know how much of a bonus it actually is. Does it appear in any other set? I don't know. I'm guessing it's one of those limited edition Q-Tamas, so whatever. Oh, good, it's the right one. Okay, good. I can't remember what the name of this Q-Tama is. Captions will say it. Instructions. How can you have instructions for something like this? It doesn't even come with anything. Whatever. And so I got myself a bonus Q-Tama. Now they offered up two of them. This is one of them, and the other one is, I don't know. I think it was the Pegasus, not the Pegasus Shield one. I don't think it was that. I think it was a different one, but it was kind of horse, maybe a unicorn or something like that. Are unicorns in Constellation? I don't remember. But anyways, this one is Big Bear Q-Tama, which is number 22. They don't use this one regularly. If you saw the origins of Koguma Sky Blue, then you'll recognize this. So this belongs to the predecessor to, what's his name, Commander Xiao, Bao, Wow, whatever the dragon's name is. That I mean, he's obviously a Chinese dragon, and obviously he has a Chinese name, but I have no idea how to pronounce it any better than they do in the show. So, yeah. So anyways, this is, I want to say this is like Commander Big Bear or something like that, but I don't remember what the Q-Tama itself is actually called. And the pattern's pretty nice. It's just a big old bear going, so you know how that one goes. So what's the pattern? Easy way to find out. Okay, the pattern's kind of cute. It's a little teddy bear down here, and it's just inside the pattern here. It's not the swiveling pattern on the outside, but it's the pattern that you see when it's lit from behind. So there's a little teddy bear below, and then there's a much larger bear going like this. So that's what the pattern is on the inside. It's kind of nice. Not quite sure how I'd be able to photograph that, but it looks nice regardless. It's a little better. I hope that's not too fuzzy. It's obviously fuzzy because it's at 640 by 420 is what I have to work with, and I flippin' hate it, so... But yeah, that's cute and all. And before I forget it's on, I'm going to turn it off. So, yay. Believe it or not, I'm actually debating whether or not to get the Seiza Blaster. Like, I've already got the Kyuza weapon. I've got this, and I really enjoy this, by the way. But I'm kind of undecided now whether I want to get the Seiza Blaster. Just because, well, I mean, I don't want to fall for the gimmick, even though I've kind of fallen for it by buying this thing at the same time that an offer for this is made. So, whatever, but I don't know if I want to, get that thing just so, it doesn't light these up. And I mean, don't get me wrong, the Seiza Blast is really neat the way it works. Just, I don't know if I want to get it. It is neat, just, well, I suppose if I could stomach getting this thing and the crap show that it transforms into, maybe it wouldn't be so bad if I picked up a Seiza Blaster after all. So this is the first half of the video. How long was that? 6 minutes edited? Maybe less? There it sits. Unfortunately, there's no batteries for this. It's not to say that they're not included in it, but rather it has no electronics in it. So far, the only mecha that has any electronics is this, and the recently debuted, or rather recently announced, Gigant Phoenix. Phoenix Soldier made his debut, well, technically he made his debut 2 days ago, but the subtitles came out today, so I got to see the episode. Phoenix Soldier's first impression is Kira Jesus Yamato from Seed Destiny. Not Seed, where he's a whiny little bitch, but rather Seed Destiny, where he's an arrogant, whiny little bitch who has way too much power backing him up and isn't nearly as good as he likes to think he is, or the rest of his little cult followers. Anyways, yeah, he's kind of striking me as that, and he's also got a nice streak of, what is it? Not hero worship, but glory hog. So Phoenix Soldier is a bit of a glory hog. In other words, he's seeking out attention. He's seeking out to make a name for himself based on the notion that the Phoenix Soldier is already legendary and that he's going to create a legend based around his performance, when I'm guessing he's never fired a shot in anger until this episode. So I'm not quite sure how I feel about him. Oh, by the way, he also has his own catchphrase. Well, it's not really a catchphrase, but he keeps talking about, it's like, he like 3 times in the episode he said, "I am legendary," or "I am going to show you my legend," and it's going to be something like that, where he's not boasting or bragging. He's going to be doing that through the whole for the whole remainder of the show. Yosha Lucky is annoying and forced and very much a catchphrase, and they're trying to sell it, and it's stupid. But they did back off on Ryu Commander. Like the thing that I was complaining about him, like, he's strange, but they've backed off. So it's like, okay, we got through the initial character stuff. I don't need to worry about listening to him every single episode. So fair enough. I still don't like the Q-Let. That thing is fucking stupid, and it makes no sense and whatever. But I don't know. I'm wondering if Phoenix Soldier is going to be, I don't know. I'm wondering whether I'm going to like him or not. So aside from the fact that I got this, which is just a bonus as far as I'm concerned, because I didn't actually pay for that, it came free. The reason I went this route as opposed to buying the Voyagers individually is I didn't want to buy the Voyagers individually. If I had purchased Tenbin and, Tenbin and Hibitsukai and, oh crap, what was the bird's name? How am I forgetting this again? It's not Ho, because that's Phoenix. I don't remember. It's like Eagle. I can't remember. Wasabi? No. Washabi? Stupid. Didn't think to look it up before I started. Aside from getting those 3 individually, which you still have to get individually, you can also get the Sasori Voyager, the Scorpion Voyager, also separately. But it turns out you can also get the Sasori Voyager in a box set. So I was concerned, you can also get the Ryu Voyager and the, is it Oguma Voyager, I think? You can get all 3 of these individually, or you can buy them in a box set like this. So rather than accidentally get the Sasori Voyager separately and then buy this and, oh, by the way, it comes with this, or buy these individually, I'll just, hold off on the Sasori Voyager until I decide whether I want to get this or not. And then I'll just get it at the same time. For the record, if the Oguma Voyager was not included as part of this, I would not have gotten it. I do not like the Oguma Voyager. I'm saying it right now. Sasori Voyager, I like it. Ryu Voyager, I like it. Oguma Voyager, no, I do not like it. I would not have gotten it if it was individual, if it was not involved in a combination of some kind. Beyond the whole limb swapping thing we had to deal with. If it was just a limb by itself and it did nothing else, I would not have gotten it. I would not have gotten it individually. The thing I don't get is Kirino has its stats right here, and then right under it is Ryuteo has its stats. And then we have, oh god, Ryutei Kirino down here. Why would they have the stats for Kirino when they already had it on the other box? It's weird. I don't need this. I don't need this. If all he does is stand up on tiptoes, flip his arms over the head, or over his head, and then stick this thing on the chest, do I really need instructions to know how that works? And the answer is no, I don't. I thought the antlers moved. That's a bit disappointing. I thought they moved forward and backwards, but they don't. Oh, it only ratchets to two positions. It ratchets to there and to there. It doesn't go in the. It doesn't ratchet in the middle. I'm hoping we've seen the last of Moody Stinger. I'm getting tired of him hogging the limelight so much. It's getting annoying. Oh wow. I'm liking that purple plastic. Whoa. It's not as pale as I thought, as all the promotional stuff said. Whoa. That's actually a really nice shade of purple. I like that. What was the last purple? Well, we had the Ika Origami and Geki Babs. I'm thinking when else there was actual purple plastic that was not just painted on. Well, yeah, Ika was actual plastic, but it was a lighter shade. This is much darker. I suppose it could be a royal, kind of a royal purple color. I like it. It's a nice detail. Does the head turn? Oh, the head does turn. I thought the head didn't turn. It's a nice head sculpt. I like that. I really wish the head of the Ryu Voyager had been, the mouth had been able to open. But that is a really nice sculpt. I do like what they have here. Very nice and detailed. I really like that. Yeah, what surprises me, let's see. What surprises me, well maybe I'll get to it later. Okay, no, I'll say it here. What surprises me is, why is it that the Ryu Voyager has 8-sided ratcheting joints? Because they're not involved in the transformation, but they are nice and tight. Very nice and tight. Here's the thing that, to be fair, is pretty damn neat, is you take the Ryu Kyutama, and the dragon is actually holding it between its claws. That's awesome. That's a great place to put the cockpit. Like, the cockpit's not up here, it's not mid-body, it's not, you know, if you remember Goseiger, the Gosei machines, or were they Gosei vehicles, or I don't even, the cockpits were in places that were always obscured, or they were in places that made no sense whatsoever, and you wouldn't be able to see the other side of it. But this is just kind of, there's the cockpit right there. Bang on. Great place for it. And besides, it's just a dragon holding onto a giant gem. That's cool. That's very cool. I love it. And here comes the part I'm not entirely thrilled with. Or rather, the part that I know the least about. And that is the tail, which I'm still kind of trying to figure out if I like this tail design or not, or at least this big black thing. Like this, is that an appropriate foot? Not necessarily. Most dragons, you know, the tails usually come to a point, or they're kind of flat, like a spade or something like that. And this was just kind of so I'm trying to decide if I like that as a dragon's tail or not. Not a lot I can say about it. Other than that, I'm not entirely thrilled with it. Dude. This is cool. Yeah, the kibble up here, yeah, and there's a little combiner kibble right here, so whatever, but this is really nice. I like this. It's tilted it. Whoop. Okay, you can't do that. It's got a bit of a bend to it, you know, it's curved like this, and you can't do anything about it. He's kind of perpetual. Oh! As soon as I said it. Oh! So it ratchets into 2 positions. Okay, that helps. See, does this? Oh, this does as well. Okay, so, alright, question answered. So, yeah, I mean, the primary body has a bit of a curve to it, but at least they had the courtesy common sense to actually, instead of having the head pointing up all the time, you can actually ratchet down one more time, so it's looking straight ahead. So that fixes the problem. It helps fix the problem. Dare I say bigger than Ryuseo? Is that right? Ryuseo? Yeah. This is definitely bigger than Ryuseo, the Red Dragon Thunder Zord. But, I think Daijin Ryu Serpentera is still the biggest dragon, you know, flying dragon, Asian style dragon that has ever come out of Super Sentai in terms of DX toys. Correction, might be the biggest mecha ever to come out of Super Sentai. I mean, ever. Because, I mean, it's like 2 kilometers long. How can you argue with that? There is no Super Sentai Robo, good or evil, that has ever gone beyond that. So, and I do like the helmet design. That is nice. That does work for me. Yeah, the sculpting on here is nice. Like, okay, I can live with it. It needs more paint. I think they could have worked some silver in there, or maybe even some more gold. They could have put gold teeth, or silver, or gray, or anything. But this is nice. I kind of like that. I like this more, I should say. I think they could have used some more paint apps on the helmet too. Paint out the rivets, or I don't know, just anything. The jaw is silver, or kind of gray. I guess the jaw is gray, and it's okay. What bugs me the most is that the jaw is hollow, you know, which, bleh, bleh. Which it shouldn't be, which it shouldn't need to be when it combines, but I'll get to that when I get to that. I'm loving it. Good gravy, that's a big mecha. This thing. I was looking forward to a bear mecha. Like, that sounded like fun. What they came up with, not so much. I have no idea what it's supposed to be either. Like, most of the other voyages are, it's definitely an animal, or definitely a humanoid, or it's definitely a something. At least you can tell that it's the animal that it says it is, you know. Now, Tenbin Voyager, you can kind of fan mode it up so that it makes a Libra looking thing. So, like, okay, fair enough. And you get the cobra shaped head for Hibitsukai. Fine, whatever. But this thing just, I don't know what the hell it's supposed to be. It's trying to be too many things at one time, I think, and it's kind of failing on all of them. Ursa Minor, Ursa Major. That is to say, the Big and Little Dippers. I'm glad that they got represented. I am pleased they got represented. I just don't like how they've been represented. They're kind of small. They're kind of, meh. I wish that Super Sentai, or that Key Ranger had gone the same route that Power Rangers Turbo did with Justin, the Blue Ranger. I kind of wish that Super Sentai had done that. Instead, they do the whole fake photography, just photograph the kid just at a different scale compared to everything else around him, and I'm kind of disappointed they did that. I wish they, like, I wish they'd gone from, like, kid size to adult size. I wish they'd done that, but maybe they've done it enough times at this point that it's, like, not worth it. King Ranger, King Ranger, Kiba Ranger. No, that wasn't his name. Yeah, Kiba Ranger. And what the hell even is this? It looks like they tried to mold the shape of a Kyutama on there, but that being said, why? It's just a little drone thing anyways, and that's it. You can't even, like, I think they're trying to get it to be a motorcycle. I think that's what they're trying to do here. I think. I'm not sure. It's a thing, and I really don't care. Like, this is half the reason why I don't like the Oguma Voiders, so. How does this work? That's how this works. Big bear, little bear, sure, whatever. That's cute. So if that folds up, where does this go? Gee, maybe if you looked at the instructions, you'd have your answer, Eva. Well, the mouth opens up. I'm trying to decide if I like this or not. I kind of don't. The mouth opens, but you can't even see it because he's got this little mouth guard. He's got this whole football helmet thing going here, which, why is that there? You got exhaust tailpipes here. You've got a little spoiler, not fender. Yeah, you've got a spoiler up here, you know, an arrow spoiler up here. So it's like they're trying to make it like vroom, vroom, vroom kind of thing, but at the same time it's like, well, it's supposed to be a bear. You know, at least with the Ushi origami, you knew it was an oxen. Because, I mean, it didn't matter if it had tractor treads, it's like, okay, whatever, but like, what is this supposed to be? Well, at least it has independent arms on it, and I guess that's something. Wow, rolls really well backwards. Whatever. I don't care if it rolls or not. And then there's the highlight, the Koguma, Kyutama, Koguma, yeah, that's hard to say. Which, oops, it's purely by coincidence that I would end up with both of these at the same time, because, like, if this had not been part of the special offer, I wouldn't have it, and I'd just have this, like, what's this, okay, whatever, but just sheer coincidence, now I've got both of the bear Kyutamas. That's weird from my perspective. Something else I should point out, unlike any of the other Kyutamas I've seen to date, I think this is Big Bear, or what, I don't know the Japanese name for it, the captions will say it for me, but this Kyutama is the only one out of the 9 that I've got here now that has, well, correction, this is 10. This is 10 Kyutamas. 11. This is the only one out of 11 Kyutamas that I have that has sparkles on the outer surface, molded into the plastic. It's not spray painted on, but like it's actually sparkly like snow. So I suppose they're trying to invoke well, I suppose they're trying to invoke snow, but maybe they're trying to invoke a little more of a snow globe you know, little souvenir kind of thing. Maybe I think that's what they're trying to go for here, which is fine with me. But yeah, I mean, just through odd coincidence, I've got both of these now, so yay for me. And the little bear it's cute, whatever. He's kind of, pay attention to me, He's got that kind of look on his face. Whatever. And last but not least, the moody, emo Peter kind of, well, no, this wasn't as bad as emo Peter, but he's kind of emo Peter, which, Moody, I think, is the one that should be. Moody. Moody Stinger, Moody Stinger. I kind of feel like Sasori Voyager kind of never really transforms at all, period. Like, the only transformation, kind of the difference between, well, oh, I guess you can't put that back, but, well, that, and then it moves forward. Well, isn't it kind of already forward a bit? I just feel like this one doesn't actually like transform, it just kind of moves the limbs in a different position. I mean, it's not that the others didn't, and Okami Voyager is pretty bad. You just move the back legs and that's it, so. I'm just kind of nonplussed about this one. You remember how I mentioned previously that the Curino had asymmetrical paint designs on it. Now, Sasori Voyager, at least, I haven't... Oh, okay. Oguma has it as well. And I'll have to look at Ryu Voyager a little more. But Sasori Voyager has... Wait. Oh, it's got an extra joint I didn't realize. Okay. So it's actually got 3 joints on it. You can put it back like this. You can do it like this. You can do it like this. You can swing it all the way forward. So you can start. You can kind of start. He can sting himself to upgrade his powers temporarily before he kills himself. Huh, okay. Anyways, the Sasori Voyager has a little yellow stripe here, and it's got a pair of white stripes over here. And you notice no white stripe and no yellow stripe. So the asymmetrical coloring, or paint apps, or whatever, also continues on to the Sasori Voyager. There's an orange, well, more like a bronze. There's a bronze-colored stripe across the top that's off-center. And it also has a little bit of paint detail on the left shoulder, which is lacking on the right shoulder. And I'm guessing the Ryu Voyager, they probably didn't bother with it just because there's so much, I mean, there's the kibble, there's the combiner kibble here, and there's all this stuff up here. I'm guessing they didn't really worry about it here too much. I mean, there's these details here, but again, that's because of Ryuteo when it's transformed, which are obviously lacking over here, so. I don't think Ryu Voyager has any asymmetrical, like intentional asymmetrical paint details, you know, something that intentionally appears on one side that doesn't appear on the other, that isn't related to kibble or transformation or something like that. So I think this might be the only exception to the rule. Do the claws move? No, they do not. It's kind of strange, they put so much emphasis on the tail, and yet these claws are so tiny, they don't even move. Like, okay, the legs move, whatever, but you would expect the claws to be able to open and close, or move, or twist, or swivel, or anything. Like, this doesn't count because transformation, whatever, but they maybe have the claws fold backwards or something. This may also be, with the exception of maybe the Shishi Voyager, this might be the only Voyager that has an actual cockpit on it. Unless it's just a decoration, they think. It's like, oh, coincidentally it looks like a cockpit. There is an actual cockpit. Oh, what am I talking? It wouldn't have a cockpit because it's got the Qtama on the back. By the way, does anybody else think that looks more complete than it does to have this giant bubble butt? I'm just saying. Sasori Kyutama, which is a thing. It's nice. Very Gatorade orange. Like it, hate it, don't care. Moving on. I'm guessing there's got to be a pinch point warning in here in the instructions, which I totally didn't look at. Ew. Wait. Oh, okay. Had it faced the wrong way. Well, ordinarily the legs face to the inside, so I could be forgiven for getting it wrong and totally not looking at the box right behind me. How exactly is that an arm, by the way? I feel like this should be a leg instead of an arm, but it's an arm, so, yeah. Where? Oh! Oh! I just realized. Additional storage. How about that? Solves that problem. When this goes up on the shelf eventually, I'm going to do that. Didn't even think of that. God, you can barely see his eyes. Here's the irony of the situation. The head can turn. It actually ratchets every 45 degrees. The irony of the situation, by the way, for head articulation, the irony of the situation is that when you actually put the helmet on, it doesn't turn. It can't turn. Because they didn't move, because all they had to do was like Plex. What the hell? You finally give us like genuine head articulation, and you only put it there for the transformation, because then you turn around and you completely make it GIMP by doing that. This is Ryuteo in the flesh, as it were. It's nice in concept, but holy crap! I was hoping that the dragon legs would actually fold down a little bit more. Actually, I was hoping that they would fold, period, but they don't. They're just anchored in place, which I don't like. Those legs should have been able to fold down. Why didn't they? Because it would have gotten them out of the way, and you would have had this huge kibble thing on the back. I mean, it's bad enough as you got the dragon jaw right back here, and by the way, that popped off really easily. I'm not liking that. Like, it works for the Ryu, it's not Ryu origami, although there is one of those. For the Ryu Voyager, it's okay if it's loosely fit like this, but for this thing, and just, I'll say it again, does that even look like an arm? Like, can you even justifiably call that an arm? It's just kind of, it's kind of like Clayface, one of the Batman villains, who I find rather disgusting and creepy at the same time. Like, it's supposed to be an arm, but it's supposed to be a thing at the same time. I have no idea what this is supposed to be, and by the way, it's got a little bear sticking out the top. Why again? I don't know. So, I like the shoulder designs. The shoulder designs are nice because they've got these scales across the top, or the spikes across the top, so that's nice. And the Sasori it is what it is. Here's the irony of the situation. With Kirino, the shoulder joint is off-center from the actual arm. Like, the arm is actually located above the joints. You know, I pointed this out previously. And it did that so that the LED could fit on the inside of the joint. You know, it would have been nice to have the arm sunken into where the actual joint is, but you kind of have to live with it. You just, yeah. So, but that's out of necessity for electronics, for the gimmick. Fair enough. Why then is it carried over into this? Because there is no gimmicky shoulder thing that's sticking out here that the Kyutama connection has to avoid. It's just got these massive kibble chunks on the back here, which really they're more for aesthetic than for function. Which, But why are the arms off center? They're raised up above the pivot point, and just why? I don't get that. So there's a number of reasons why I'm not entirely thrilled with this. Ryu Voyager by itself is fine. It's got some kibble on the top, but I can live with it. Sasori Voyager's kind of, whatever. I mean, it would be the equivalent to getting the Kagekiyo by itself. You know, it doesn't really do anything, so whatever. So the Sasori Voyager just kind of adds some stuff. And, here's another thing. Why couldn't it be, why don't these claws move so you could get an actual gripping hand, 3-fingered hand out of this or something, You could have done that. Instead, it's just that. What? It's a thing. So, Ryuteo it's neat in concept, and I really, really, really love the purple on this thing. It's still or the violet purple. It's purple. It's not violet. Violet's a lighter shade. I really like the purple on this. Tail's a little whatever. So it's kind of a mixed bag. And then for whatever reason, now you've got that. Why? I'll be honest, Kirino looks better. Kirino, at least the DX Kirino, is one of those toys that looks better with its arms straight down and not posed at all. Like, it delivers best when the arms are standing straight. When you try and pull them forward, it kind of ruins the illusion because of those off-center arms, which I just went over. But then you get Ryuteo, which has a different style to it. It's got the dragon influence, the scales, the spikes, claws and things, and a dragon head and a tail down here. So it's got its own style, and then you can think what you will of the Voyagers, whatever, but when you add these two particular Voyagers on here, it becomes a problem because it's like, ugh. So, and again, oh, maybe I could. No, they definitely... Oh! What's going on here? Hold on. Why does the head go down? Because it's a bear, I guess? So there's an extra bit of articulation I wasn't aware of until just now. Okay. But that's besides the point. Ryuteo is neat in concept. It's just kind of... Not that it gets lost in the gimmick. It's just... I think it gets lost in all the kibble and like what they're trying to do versus how they actually accomplished it. Kind of gets in this. So it kind of gets in the way of itself. They're pretty much the same head height, but the horns are a little taller, so... Scudemba City! So what's this? Kirino, Scorpion, and Bear? No, it's just Kirino. There it is. Solid enough. It works. Now the question is, what the hell do you do with this thing? I'll look it up afterwards. I'm not going to worry about this. So the question is, by swapping out the arms, does Ryuteo change, or does it look better or worse? Well, by using Okami and Ushi, yeah, it bulks up naturally, but I mean, does it really solve the problems with Sasori and Oguma? Honestly, these two look like they belong a little more just because they are bulkier. There's a little more thickness to them. So, maybe it's just the selection of the critter, or the selection of Voyager that I kind of have the biggest problem with. Still don't like the way the head swivel was totally ignored. That's so disappointing. You couldn't even get a little bit in there? That doesn't even count. Boo. The last two episodes, there's been a lot of Ryuteo combined in this fashion. So it's the sword that you can very much ignore, and the whip tongue thingy that is used once in a while. Whatever. It's one step above Kirino, though. You can actually turn this. If you tilt it outwards oh so slightly, you can get the fin past the decoration, so you can actually get an actual genuine elbow twist in there. I'll say it again, I wasn't entirely thrilled with Ryu Tail. Like, it was neat in concept, but it just kind of gets a little lost. Oh, speaking of getting lost, in order to get the Super Combiner going, you're just going to want to do a straight loom swap from Ryu Tail to Kirino. So just take these arms here, put them over here, take these arms here, put them over here. Ushi and Okami, leave those where they are. Okay, there we go. Now it's fixed. Alright, problem solved. Oh, here comes something I'm really not thrilled about. This is the entire justification for these stupid feet on here, which I was never thrilled with. And that's a transformation, really? That's all the transformation. You flip the head around, you flip the feet down, and you take the helmet off. What the fuck kind of combination is that? Now, to be fair, Buster O-Ranger O-Robo, which is also known as the Zeo Mega Battle Zord, it had an extending leg gimmick, then the arms flipped around, and then it also had a helmet thing. But the thing is, at least it had a helmet gimmick. Like, I could live with this, but no, that's not what it does. So, oh boy, we're almost done. That was really involved transformation. And here's our super combination for the first half. This is Ryutei Kirino. It snapped together solidly enough. I won't argue with that. So wait a minute, why? Okay, but that still doesn't answer the question why it is that the legs on Ryuteo, on the Ryu Voyager, why do they rotate? Why do they come apart? You know? Are they going to be used in a combination later on? I don't know. Be nice if they did. The whole, Q-Tamajin. You use just the Q-Tamas. You use only this and the Shishi Voyager. That's the only thing you use out of all of this. One thing at a time, out. This is not one of my favorite combined forms. This is not. How it goes together is lazy. What it ultimately looks like is lazy. It doesn't take advantage of the Q-Tamas linking together. There's this thing, which it should have been a helmet. It should have been a helmet, and that would have been fine. But, I mean, bleh. Whoop. I wish that had snapped on. It's just friction. So eventually, oh yeah, here's another one. Eventually that friction is going to wear out. If you do that enough times, it's going to become useless to you. I wondered in the previous unboxing for Kirino if, oh good, I can't still reach it. If the Ryutei Kirino would activate a hidden button or trigger of some kind in here that would change the sound effects in here. Unless it's located inside the 4 clip connection points, unless I missed a button inside there, I'm guessing the answer is no. It doesn't have unique sound effects, which is kind of disappointing. I'm going to cycle through them just in case. it's a question of whether or not Ryuteo should have had its own batteries. It would only need 3 LEDs. So, I mean, the legs would not be as blocky. You wouldn't have to have the legs be as chunky as they are. Arguably, you could put a battery compartment inside the chest here somewhere. But the question is, would there be enough room for, not just for the battery compartment itself, but also for the microchip or whatever it is that they have stored away inside there for actual memory. Did I turn this off? Yeah. So, like, am I disappointed that Ryuteo doesn't have its own light and sound? A little, yeah, I am a little disappointed. I mean, considering the admittedly impressive performance that Kurino puts on, it is disappointing that the very next mecha doesn't use it. There's that whole consistency thing again. Which, you know, I've kind of argued about that. I've argued about that both directions, so whatever. But this is smart enough where you press a button and, oh yeah, okay, it mode switches. Okay, whatever. But you should, that's really annoying. And oh, by the way, in order to get to this, you're constantly bumping up against this, which is going to have that come off all the time. So you're going to reach for the button, and this is going to pop off. But then again, there are no unique sounds for Ryuteo Kurino, so why would you reach for the button up here? I guess you don't need to. So then I guess the problem's been solved. Friction. Why are those not little... This is not a good combination. I don't like the way it turned out. It just... I'm not thrilled. Just like kind of... And I said it at the start, the only well, actually I said it a couple times already. Pretty much the only reason I got Ryuteo, yeah, Ryu Commander's nice, and you can put some different Voyagers on it, whatever. But it's pretty much because I got gimmicked into getting this. That's pretty much the only reason why I've got Ryuteo at this point. And ironically, this is not useful for anything except to plug into the Seiza blaster. Or is it Seiza changer? Seiza blaster. And since I'm currently debating whether or not to get the Seiza blaster, it makes this useless, which means that I got this for no reason, which means I didn't have to put myself through the ranting and the raving and torture you guys with my rantings and ravings about a combiner that I actually don't like. Taking one for the team, I guess. I don't know. Does it scratch the Super Sentai itch? It's still a block former, and it combines like a block former. A gimmick which is introduced in the first Robo was completely ignored in the next one. Arguably, yes, it is a Super Sentai Robo. Just kind of looks like one robot plastered up against another one. That's, by the way, standing up on tiptoes. What's up with that, by the way? Well, oh yeah, by the way, do not ever grab it. Don't grab it by Ryuteo. Always grab it by Kurino. Always, 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 always. This is AV Unit 4A saying, thanks for tuning in.